he would die, and then be raised from the dead as a substitutionary atonement. The Son would glorify the Father, and the Father would glorify the Son. They would promote each other's glory. Highlighting God's greatness is, in fact, what Christians are called to do. Everything we do, in thought, word, and deed, is for God's glory. Jesus does not only pray for himself, he prays for us. In John chapter 17, verse 24, Jesus says, "Father, I desire that they also, whom you have given me, may be with me where I am, to see my glory that you have given me, because you loved me before the foundation of the world." Whatever we are or become in our spiritual lives, we owe it all to the Savior who gave himself for us, who prayed for us, that we might be one with him, and who gave us such a beautiful pattern to follow in our own prayer lives. In the end, we see Jesus in his glory again, in the book of Revelation. In the book of Revelation, John was to document the things that he had seen. John sees a powerful Jesus that does not compare to any typical man. Revelation chapter 1, verses 12 through 13. Then I turned to see the voice that was speaking with me, and after turning, I saw 7 golden lampstands. And in the midst of the lampstands I saw someone like the Son of Man, dressed in a robe reaching to his feet, and with a golden sash wrapped around his chest. This was it. John had seen the Son of Man, the honored Jesus Christ. John described the loud voice he heard as distinct and striking as the sound of a trumpet. The powerful voice is that of the Alpha and Omega, the first and the last, who stands at the beginning and the end of everything. Because Jesus identified himself with these names in Revelation chapter 1, verse 18, we know this was the loud voice of Jesus. The first and the last is a title that belongs to the Lord, Yahweh, the God of Israel. The title Alpha and the Omega has the same idea as first and the last. This is one of the New Testament passages where Jesus clearly claimed to be God. We can only imagine what went through John's mind as he turned. The sound of the voice he heard most likely did not match up perfectly with the way he recalled Jesus' voice sounding. John described it as of a trumpet, Revelation chapter 1, verse 10. However, he was aware that it was Jesus because of the voice's description of itself as the Alpha and Omega. After spending so much time with Jesus throughout his ministry on earth, John finally had the opportunity to meet him face to face after all these years. The robe and girdle may evoke images of the high priest from the Bible, and they may also imply that Jesus is the high priest for his people. The only other occurrence of girdles in Revelation is chapter 15, verse 6, also golden, where it is priestly imagery for angels in the heavenly temple. Thus, Jesus appears not only as king, but as a priest, a combination of images that grew familiar to Jewish people in the Maccabean period. John then continues, "His head and his hair were white like white wool, glistening white, like snow, and his all-seeing eyes were flashing like a flame of fire, piercing into my being. His feet were like burnished white-hot bronze, refined in a furnace, and his voice was powerful, like the sound of many waters. Revelation chapter 1 verses 14 through 15. This description of his eyes is similar to the narrative that we get of an angel in the book of Daniel. Daniel chapter 10 verse 6. His body also was like beryl, with a golden luster. His face had the appearance of lightning. His eyes were like flaming torches. His arms and his feet like the gleam of burnished bronze. And the sound of his words was like the noise of a multitude of people, or the roaring of the sea. This description of his limbs is similar to the narrative that we get of an angel in the book of Ezekiel. Ezekiel chapter 1 verse 7. Their legs were straight, and the soles of their feet were like a calf's hoof, and they sparkled and gleamed like shiny bronze. The angelic characteristics that appear in John's vision of Jesus do not bring him down to the same level as angels. Rather, they most likely serve to emphasize Jesus' immense grandeur. He cannot be portrayed as less glorious than a glorious angel. Eyes like fire describe passionate eyes in Greek literature, but they can also depict the supernaturally flaming eyes of divine beings or angels. Glowing metal may also depict God's glory in Ezekiel chapter 1 verse 27. Yet other features suggest that while John portrays Jesus' glory as no less than that of an angel, it is certainly more than that of an angel. Jesus' face also shines like the sun. Greek texts sometimes portray deities shining like the sun or lightning. Jewish texts did the same for angels and others, but also for God himself. John then continues in Revelation chapter 1 verse 16. In his right hand he held 7 stars, and from his mouth came a sharp two-edged sword of judgment. And his face, reflecting his majesty and the Shekinah glory, was like the sun shining in all its power at midday. Revelation chapter 1 verse 17. When I saw him, I fell at his feet as though dead. And he placed his right hand on me and said, Do not be afraid. I am the first and the last, absolute deity, the Son of God.